What's up everyone, Bert here, and today we'll be taking a look at specialist buildings in BTD5. If you don't know, specialist buildings are ways to buff towers while at the same time slightly nerfing another one. All of them have 4 upgrades and you can only have one active at a time. However, you can deactivate and activate them mid-game, which might be a little bit annoying but works in a lot of playthroughs. So we'll be taking a look at these buildings and I'll be ranking them in a tier list. S being essential and D not even being worth buying. I'll take cost and buffs into account for this list. And remember, we all have different opinions. Tell me what do you think about my list, if you agree or disagree and why. I won't consider the first upgrade of each building because they all give the same reduced tower and upgrade cost. Well, without further ado, let's get started with the sub-construction yard. We have a 25% projectile speed increase, airburst darts split into 4 instead of the normal 3, and the 3x sub also removes regrow from Bloons when it is submerged, with a nerf to the ninjas which are 5% more expensive. All of this for the overall price of 3,300 makes this building extremely useful for certain situations. The dart split being one of the best paired with the projectile speed. The regrow removal also helps a lot for things like round 76 or 82, where we have a ton of regrows. This is one I don't usually use, but I can see its potential for maps like Daffodils, where you have a pool in the beginning, not only popping LEDs with a 4x, but also removing regrow and camo properties from Bloons right at the start, and still have enough space for more subs and take advantage of the other upgrades. For me, it has to be in B tier. It can be a lot of help, but because it is a water tower, it is specific to water maps. Or if you're into portable lakes, then go right ahead. Next up, we have the dart training facility, one of the most useful, fun and cheap of the game. For only $29.50, you get 10% increased attack speed, 1 free dart monkey to start, then 1 every 10 rounds, and makes darts explode. This is OP because it means you can grid as much as you'd like, not having to go for that juggernaut at round 28 and keep farming or just gridding and upgrading other defenses. I always activate it when I start a new game, place the free dart, and after a couple rounds change it to another one I want to use. Or just play with dart monkeys only. You can also go back to the menu every 9 rounds and change it back to the dart training facility and get free monkeys that way. I think this building is essential. It'll have to be an S tier for me. Getting lead detection for free and from the start is great, because even the triple dart upgrade explodes for that lead detection. I should note that Spikeable won't explode for lead detection. The only downside is that boomerang monkeys have increased cost, but it shouldn't be a problem. Now we have the Tag Research Center, which increases cost of bomb tower. So we have another attack speed increase by 10%. Note that almost all of them have this upgrade at level 2. Then we have a 3rd level that is literally useless when you buy the 4th level. So you basically get a 5% cheaper tower with 10% attack speed and plus 1 pierce. This sells for $29.50 as well, but in my opinion, having almost the same upgrade for level 3 and 4 make it not as worth it as other specialist buildings. But I have to say, pairing this with the Monkey Fort upgrade for an additional plus 1 pierce is actually good. But as you know, tag shooters must be in a specific placement for even more effectiveness, so it doesn't work for every map. Overall, having the level 3 upgrade is not worth it for $850. I wish NK would have thought about anything else, like probably add 2 more tags to the spray or at least just 1. Instead, you get an upgrade that stops working when you buy the final level. This also happens in other buildings, as you will see later. I had to put this one in C tier. It might be useful for some maps, but it is weirdly specific. Now we have one of the best in my opinion, the Boomerang Dojo, increasing dart monkeys cost. Okay, so you basically get a damage increase of more than double. This is because you get 10% attack speed increase, boomerangs stay flying for 1 more circuit if they haven't reached their piece cap, and they throw 2 boomerangs at a time. This sells for $3,700, but it is totally worth it. As you know, boomerangs are not as good against Moabs, but this upgrade makes them viable late game, which is why I'll place it all the way up in S tier. Yeah, it's the most expensive so far, but it is also one of the best. I'll place it right below the dart training facility because, well, free dart monkeys every 10 rounds and explosive darts are just better. Now we move to one of the worst, bombing range, increasing spike tourist costs. The only great thing I can say about this building is the ability for bombs to plop blacks and zebras. Yeah, the attack speed increase might be good and all, but the level 4 ability, yeah, you heard that right, ability, can be counterproductive in some scenarios. Take this situation for example. In the map North Pole, having a bomb in the runway right in the middle of the track and activating the ability, the bomb tower won't hit the pink balloon until it gets right beside it. Bomb tower range is not something you'd want to greatly increase, mostly because the bombs travel slowly. And yeah, the missile launcher increases its travel speed, but it is just not worth it in my opinion. You can place an MIB next to the bomb tower and give it more pierce, camo detection, and the ability to pop blacks and zebras. So yeah, why bother? D tier definitely. Okay, I have to mention the potential of fighting against a Moab. Here the ability might actually be useful, but at what cost? Just stay away from this specialist building. You're better off without it. Moving on to one of the funniest for me, the Mage Spire. Cost of super monkeys increase. Here, instead of attack speed increase, we get a well-deserved 10% range increase and an additional seeking attack. And if that isn't enough already, any tornado turns into 3 smaller tornadoes. This isn't only for the 4x wizard, it also works for the 3x. The seeking attack is actually pretty good too, working almost as a seeking shuriken, but not lasting as much. It will always try to pop the first balloon on the track. This building is worth 5250, and I say worth because it really is worth it. Wizard's vanilla range is awful, so everything about this specialist building is good. I recently used it in my latest video. You can see how well it works in a real game. I have to give this one an A tier, only because it is a little bit expensive and because it nerfs Super Monkey's costs. Now we move to one of my favorites, the Ice Fortress. Increasing price of glue gunners. We get an increased freeze length, the ability to freeze and pop whites and zebras, and the amazing level 4 upgrade, camo detection and removal. So this is basically a built-in MIB, without the extra pierce of course. You could also use this as a decamo sub, but without the need of water. As you know, ice towers must be placed in specific places, the same as tack shooters. But setting up ice tower combos, i.e. having a barrel thrust with 2 or 3 ice shards, is just something else. All of this for the low price of $37.50. Give it a go, it really is fun. I'll give this one an S tier, right in between of the Dart Training Facility and the Boomerang Dojo. Now we move to the Ninja Academy. And well, I'm not so sure what to think about this one. It increases cost of sniper monkeys. So we get attack speed increased, long-lasting shurikens, and adds the shadow double ability, which only spawns in a black ninja near its main one. The problem is that it isn't a literal shadow of the ninja. What I mean is that the shadow is only a 0-0 ninja. So yeah, thanks for that NK. I mean, it might be biteable for the early game if you want to grid a little bit more, but usually won't work as good. The shadow doesn't even have seeking shurikens, making it one of the most useless specialist buildings. And to add insult to injury, it costs 4000 overall. I love ninjas, but you won't even notice the longer lasting shurikens. So no, I'm sorry for this one, but it goes in C tier for me. Spikes are us. Love the name. RIP Toys R Us. Anyway, it increases cost of tack shooters. This one's great actually. You get increased lifespan of spikes by 10%, get 1 free road spike every round, and it pops 50% more balloons, essentially doubling its damage. It is also cheap, costing only 3200. If you take into account that you get free road spikes every round, well, then you have an amazing tower, and you're able to grid all the way saving for the expensive upgrades. Also, the increased lifespan of spikes is great. They take longer to despawn. I'm thinking this one is an S tier too, due to the cost being so low for the benefits you get. Mortar emplacement brings mortars back to life. It increases cost for darling guns. I think I can speak for all of us by saying mortar targeting is awful. Sure, you can get used to it, but it requires all the micro in the world. Well, not anymore my friends. This specialist building gets rid of that annoying as hell targeting by auto-aiming like a regular tower, which has infinite range. Also increases attack speed by 10%, and all balloons hit by them get stunned for like a second. This is one of the best in my humble opinion. It makes mortars easy, viable, and fun to use. I used this building in one of my BTD5 videos. If you'd like to take a look at it, it will be in the eye icon on the screen. You might have guessed by now that it gets an S, although low S. Ace Private Hangar. This one's kinda misleading. It increases cost of Buccaneers. Okay, so the attack speed increase that we all expect. Level 3 gets a forward gun, and level 4 makes it so that gun can now shoot in all directions. The thing is, the ace must be right on top of Bloons for it to shoot, and the range is not great. I'm not saying it's bad, because it isn't. It's actually cool to have a little bit more popping power and less randomized darts, but sometimes the gun won't even open fire. It's basically RNG. which you could lower by microing a bit, but yeah, this one's a solid A for me. If you watch my video playing on Land's End map, it'll also be on the eye icon. Then you already know where I put this specialist building. Pirate Cove. It increases cost of monkey aces. Increased attack speed, camo detection from the start and for towers in its range with Crow's Nest. Lead detection from the start. What else could you ask for? All of this for only 4,000 monkey money. Getting a destroyer with this enabled is one of the best times ever. If you haven't, definitely try. This is S tier for sure. I'll probably place it on top of the dojo, the Boomerang Dojo. Next up, Glue Supply Depot. Increases the price of ice towers. Yeah, this one's whatever. I'm thinking F tier. It only increases slowdown by 25% and pop Bloons leave glue on the track. We have yet another missed opportunity here. I'd love if NK would have gave it the ability to stick glue to Moabs at level 4, but nah, they just gave it an additional 15% slowdown. Not worth it. I mean, 4-2 glue pops everything in milliseconds. It doesn't need slowdown for Bloons. Oh sorry, it's D tier. Now we have the Darling Ammo Dump. Increases price of motors. This one is way too little for the price. It is 5,000 monkey money and only increases attack speed, block targeting, which could be useful only in specific maps, and +1 pierce. Yeah, I mean it's okay, it's just not worth it for that price in my opinion. I'm thinking this one is a B tier. Low B tier though. Rifle range. It increases price of ninja monkeys. Another missed opportunity here. You get 10% attack speed increase and every shot pops an extra layer. That means it can one-shot a green balloon. This one's 4,500 monkey money. I mean, it really isn't that bad, but they missed an opportunity in my opinion. Anyway, I'll rank the rifle range in C tier, or probably even lower B. You know what, I'll get it in C tier, but on top of the tag shooter. My favorite specialist building, the Super Monkey Lair. It increases price of monkey wizards. Okay, hear me out. I know this one costs 17,500, but it's just so worth it. Like, you get 10% range increase, which I mean, it's whatever. Super Ice gives camo detection, and it gets the ability of the Temple of the Vengeful Monkey, which if you haven't used it, well, you're missing out. Just becomes a force to be reckoned with. Poor Bloons don't stand a chance. This building was the first I bought when I re-downloaded the game because I loved the art on the Vengeful Temple, hence my profile picture. So yeah, enough talking, let's skip this one an S tier and keep going. It'll be the lowest S tier only because of the price. Okay, the Engineer's Workshop. It increases price of balloon shippers. 10% attack speed increase. Engie and its turrets can pop lead and frozen balloons, and sentries shoot faster, they're bigger and last longer. This makes Engie one of the best starting towers. You have lead and camo detection with foam, and the turrets are actually strong. The thing I don't like is that he only spawns 2 turrets at a time, making the second upgrade on the left useless. Guys, wow, I just found this in the making of this video. Tell me if you knew this. But cleansing foam actually does damage with this specialist building, which isn't on any of the descriptions of the levels. This kinda makes up for the missing sentries, but it's just so weird to me. As you can see here, it can take care of 1 zebra, so that's really OP to me. I will take this into account too. So yeah, this is way better than I expected, but the phone thing blew my mind. I have to give it the top A tier. AI Custom Shippers. It increases price of engineers. We get increased range, a bit of stunning to Bloons, and guess what? The perfect farmer. S tier immediately. You know what? All the way to the top. Just kidding, this one's trash. I mean, it's kind of funny that it collects bananas, but might as well buy a farmer. They're not expensive at all and they provide stalling. It's weirdly specific and you need to place them near farms. I mean, just why? I feel like NK knew balloon shippers are way too OP and basically made this specialist building a troll. And it kind of makes sense. They don't need any more buffs. This one goes to F tier. I mean D tier, sorry. Finally, last and definitely least, the Heli Hanger. It increases cost of Monkey Apprentice. Again, I'm just kidding. This is not least. It's actually okay. We get increased range by 10%. The tower itself takes 20% less room, which is great in my opinion. And it flies, quote unquote, much faster in pursuit mode. Which I have to say, it's actually much faster. This one's good. I like it. That 20% space reduction too. Overall, it gets a B tier for me. Probably better than the Hangar, the Ace Hanger. And with that we conclude this tier list. I love the evolution of Bloons. I remember when specialist buildings weren't well received when introduced, as well as the lab. I actually always liked them. Makes the grind more worth it. And NK perfected the system and brought us monkey knowledge in BTD6, as well as using these upgrades for 3rd paths and 5th tiers. For example, Relentless Glue for the Glue Gunner, or the camo removal for the Ice Tower. That's gonna be it for this video, guys. Hope you liked it. A lot of work went into this, so I'd appreciate it if you like it, and maybe consider subscribing. I'm almost at 100 subs, and I couldn't be more excited. Comment down below your favorites and what do you think about the Bloon Shippers building. Anyway, that's it for this one. Take care, guys.